Welcome back to the channel. Trad Dad Rad Tad here, and doing the install of a dash cam with a rear camera on the 2024 Platinum Sienna. Now the cool thing about this is I bought a separate power supply that tees into the lane keep assist. That's the Dongar unit. Anyway, the two units together cost less than $100. Got them off of the big A store. Anyway, I'm not affiliated or linked with either companies, but it was just inexpensive and easy to do. So you see me pulling the top of the rear view mirror housing using steady pressure and the included pry bar with the dash cam, and here I have already T-harnessed the Dongar power supply into the lane keep assist power, and I'm kind of fishing around seeing where I want to mount the camera. Now I'm putting the center console, the overhead console back into position, and the clips just pop in. The camera comes with a static sticker that goes on the windshield, and then the camera attaches to that. I suppose that would make it repositionable, or I'm sure you could just stick the camera straight to the windshield. I went ahead and put it on the static sticker. It's been on there since September and is holding it pretty well. So here you see me sticking the dash camera into position. You'll see the other wire coming off of the dash cam, and that goes to the rear camera, and it supplies power and signal for the rear camera. I'll unplug that and bring it through the overhead console down the headliner and plug it back in momentarily. Here I'm using steady pressure, downward pressure from the front on the overhead console, and those clips give up and it lets it swing down and get out of the way. So there I've unplugged the rear camera. I'm going to poke it through the access hole in the headliner, run it down beside the mirror surround, and plug it back in. The rest of the wire for the rear camera I was able to route around the edge of the headliner above the trim, and it just stays in there. There I've reconnected the rear camera to the front camera. Soon I will pop the overhead console back in position and continue to snake the wire around. Here I am at the rear of the vehicle, and I'm cleaning the third brake light housing, also called a center mounted high stop lamp, something like that. And I'm counting the LEDs on there so that I can center up the camera and have a reference point. Using cable ties to bundle up the excess and trimming the ends of the cable ties because I'm not a barbarian. And all of that will poke into the hatch above the third brake light, and I fish those wires through the grommet tubes that run between the hatch and the body assembly. So fight the wire in there, put the third brake light housing back into position. I didn't cut any holes or anything, so the wire just pooches through between the glass and the brake light housing. Here I am using the self-adhesive pad to stick the camera into position and fighting with the wires again. Finally, you'll see me put the trim back into position above the hatch, and the next thing you'll see is the camera booting up. And like I said, I've been using this camera on this car since September of 2025, and it's hanging up there fine. The whole thing was less than $100. The power adapter cost just as much as the camera, but totally worth it for a clean install. See you next time.